Now, if we go to the first Charitam, the story is very, very interesting. So, in the first Charitam of the Devi Mahatmyam, the Rishi Markand is telling this story. And then within the story, he talks about the story of another character whose name is Surata, and another one called Samadi. These are the two characters. He talks about these two characters and how these two people, Surata and Samadi, how they reach the ashram of another sage, another rishi called Medha Rishi. Right? So there's a story within the story. So the first Charitam gives a background first of the Surata. Surata is basically a king, and he's a very powerful king, and he's ruling the entire world. And he treats his whole praja, he treats his people very well, and he is known for good deeds and everything. But it so happens that one enemy, Kola Vidvamsi, attacks Surata. And for whatever reason, probably because Surata was always thinking about the welfare of the people and not paying so much attention to the war, he is somehow not ready. And even though he fights the war, he loses the battle with Kola Vidvamsi. And once the Surata loses the battle, he becomes very dejected because he loses a lot of his area where he used to be the king. So he comes back to the main capital and just limits himself to that capital. But then what happens, that his own ministers, the mantris, when they see this, that the king has become very weak now and he has lost a major part of his kingdom, they play against him. They do a shadyantra. They play against him and try to cheat him. And somehow Surata, the king, becomes so dejected and depressed that he plans to leave his kingdom and just retire into the forest. So one day, Surata gives an excuse. He says, I'm going to, just go and do some hunting in the forest. So with that excuse, he goes into the forest and actually gives up his kingdom. Now, what happens after that is very interesting. He goes to the ashram of Medha Rishi. Now, there's a lot of symbolism here. Each name, each situation, each depiction is so deep that I think even 2-3 days is less to talk about it, but I'll try my best in next 10-15 minutes to cover that. I think I'll be able to only do the first Charitam today. Maybe tomorrow I'll take the second Charitam. So what happens is, Surata, that name actually means somebody who has good chariot. Suratha, good chariot. Basically what it means is good body, healthy body. And when the Surata is cheated by his ministers and the Vidvamsi, Kola Vidvamsi, what it signifies is when we get bodily afflictions, diseases, we become very depressed. We become dejected. We lose interest in life. That is what it signifies. So once our Surata, the king, becomes dejected, he goes to the ashram of Medha Rishi. There is another interpretation of this. There are multiple interpretations. One is at the level of the body when we get afflicted with the bodily diseases. Another is when we lose our control over people, over our relatives, our family, because king has control. King represents control. When we lose that control, let's say from our professional life or family life, we become dejected. And that's commonly we see around us. People become very sad. So now, Medha Rishi, see the name again, Medha represents intellect. So Surata goes to the ashram of Medha Rishi. He introduces himself to Medha Rishi, and Medha Rishi welcomes him, and he allows him to stay in his ashram. And mind you, very, very beautiful thing. The disciples of Medha Rishi are birds, animals. When Surata reaches there, he sees all these ferocious animals as well as the other animals sitting together. So there is a lion, but there is a cow also. There is a snake, but there is a peacock also. So all these inimical, who are each other's enemies, these animals are all sitting together around the Rishi. They are all the disciples of the Rishi. And Rishi is actually giving sermon, satsang to them. So what it means is that all these jivas represent us. That this Devi Durga Saptashati is for people like us, jivas who are embodied in this body. So all these jivas are nothing but us. And Surata is now taking the refuge of intellect, the higher intellect, Medha. Now, once Surata starts living in the ashram of Medha Rishi, after many days, all of a sudden, after some time, one day he comes under the spell of moha, delusion, and he starts thinking about his kingdom. He starts thinking about, what is happening to the one dear elephant I used to have. Who's taking care of him? What is happening to my servants? Are they taking good care of my kingdom? What is happening with my ministers? Have they done wrong deeds? What is happening to my enemies? Have they taken over all of my kingdom? So like that he starts thinking. So this is how it shows us Shmashana Vairagya. See, many people, they take up to the spiritual life, they go to ashrams, they start reading scriptures when they get fed up with the world. But their Vairagya is not complete. Their mind still dwells on the old things. They have not given up totally. They are still thinking about the same things. So even after Surata has come to the ashrama of Medha Rishi, he's still thinking about, what happened to my kingdom, what are my ministers doing, what is happening to my elephant, and so on. Now, while he's thinking all this, he comes across another person in the ashram. And this person is a Vaishya. Vaishya meaning a businessman, you can say. And his name is Samadhi. And he sees that Samadhi is also quite dejected. So the Surata, he goes and he approaches Samadhi and asks him, hey, what happened to you? Why are you so sad? And Samadhi starts narrating his story. He says, I had a very good business and I was doing very well. And I had a wife, I had children, but they all cheated me. They all cheated me of my wealth, and they took away my wealth, and my competitors also took over my wealth, and they all banished me from my home. They all threw me out. And that is why I am so sad. But even though they have given me so much affliction, they have given me so much sorrow, I can't help but think how they are. I keep on thinking whether they are doing good, whether they are in any problem, whether the business is going okay. I am keeping on thinking about them. So the king says, why are you thinking about them? They have cheated you. You should just forget about them. And Samadhi says, you see, I cannot be so stone-hearted. Nishthur, that is the word used. I cannot be stone-hearted. I cannot not think of them. I'm always thinking whether they are doing well or not. Now, king, the Surata, when he listens to all this, he says, see, I'm also suffering. You're also suffering. Let's go and try to ask Medha Rishi how we can come out of this suffering. Let's take the solution from Medha Rishi. And then both go to Medha Rishi. Now remember here, the Surata here, his attitude towards his past is a little bit rajasic because he's a king. He's a little rajasic. He's always thinking about whether they are cheating, whether they are taking good care or not, those cheaters. And he's always in an inimical mode. Whereas Samadhi is a little more compassionate. He's thinking about the welfare of his people. Right? And even though he is a Vaishya, the name given to him is Samadhi. What it signifies is that even though a person may be doing something else externally, it is the mind, the gunas, the qualities which determine whether one is Brahmana or Kshatriya or Vaishya or Shudra. Because one who has such a mind is definitely Brahmana, who can get the higher knowledge and reach that state of Samadhi. Only one who has a compassionate heart. So, king, even though he's in the ashram, he's still thinking of his kingdom and how he will get the kingdom. But Samadhi is not thinking about that. Samadhi is not thinking about how I will get the business back. He's thinking about the welfare of the people, whether his family are doing okay. So, shows a compassionate heart. And you will see at the end of Devi Mahatmyam, finally Devi gives them the boon and bestows the kingdom on Surata, because that is what he wanted, and bestows liberation on Samadhi because he wanted that. So that signifies that Devi is both Bhukti Pradayani as well as Mukti Pradayani. Devi can give you the worldly pleasures, worldly desires she can fill, but she can also give you the highest, the moksha, the liberation. That is the meaning of that. Now both of these, Surata and Samadhi, they go to sage Medha and they say, sage, this is our condition. Our people have cheated us, but still we are thinking about that. Why is it so? Can you help us come out of our suffering? And Medha Rishi, he says one beautiful thing. He says, what is different about you and the animals? Even animals, they think about the same things. They have the same intelligence. Birds, have you not seen the birds, how they bring food for their dear little ones? Even if they are hungry, they will feed their little ones. This is how the Maya, the Moha Maya, deludes even the animals, even the birds. That our moha, our attachment to our children, our family, this is very representative. We have to go into the deeper meaning. It just not means our close family. It means all our attachments, not really relations, the attachments we have. There's nothing wrong in relations, but the attachment we have. So, Medha Rishi says that even animals and birds have attachment to their family. So, what is different about you? There is nothing different. In fact, the word he uses is Vishaya Marga. Even birds and animals have the knowledge of Vishaya Marga. Even they have that intelligence, which I told in the earlier also. Ahara, Nidra, Bhai, Maithunam cha. So those are the common things. You are not experiencing anything different. But if you really want to come out of this suffering, I will tell you a story. So there is now another story within the story. And that is where the Meda Rishi starts talking about the story of Madu Kaitab. Madu Kaitab. So Madu Kaitaba story is very interesting. So there is a depiction of Lord Vishnu sleeping on the Shayya. And he is in deep slumber. And while he is in slumber, also called Yoga Nidra, two demons, Madhu and Kaitab, come out of the ears of Lord Vishnu. From the earwax rather. The earwax, all of us have earwax. So from the earwax come out Madhu and Kaitab. And when they come out, they start creating a lot of havoc. And this is the time when Brahma has also just emerged out of the Nabhi or the belly button, the Nabhi of Vishnu. We'll go into the esoteric meaning now. First, let me just finish the story and then we'll go into the deeper meaning. So the Brahma has just come out from the lotus flower, from the belly button of, from the Nabhi of Vishnu. And when these demons see Brahma, they start running after Brahma. And now Brahma is running, right? And the demons Madhu and Kaitab are after him for his life. And Brahma finds out with his intelligence that these demons have been born from Vishnu's ears due to Mahamaya. And Vishnu is also in deep slumber because of the Yoga Nidra. He is in Yoga Nidra because of Mahamaya, the Devi. So what he starts doing is, first he goes to Vishnu and starts to, beg and ask Vishnu to take care of the demons. But, Vishnu is not waking up because Vishnu is in deep slumber in Yoga Nidra. So Brahma starts to invoke the goddess. He starts singing the stuti. He starts glorifying the Devi. And when Devi appears, Brahma says, Devi, please help me. Please wake up Lord Vishnu so that he can put an end to these demons. So Devi says Tathastu. And as soon as the Devi blesses, Devi, the Maya, the Yoga Nidra, she comes out of Vishnu's eyes, chest, arms, and so on. And all of a sudden Vishnu wakes up. And Vishnu wakes up, Brahma tells him everything about these two demons, and Vishnu immediately gets ready to fight. And there's a huge fight. For 5,000 years, Vishnu keeps fighting with Madhu and Kaitab. And even after 5,000 years, none of them are victorious. So at this time, Brahma thinks, see, nothing is happening. Nothing is going to happen. I think I need the help of Devi again. Otherwise, they will keep fighting forever. So he again invokes Devi. And this time, when Devi appears, Lord Brahma says, Devi, I know that you alone can solve this situation. So I want you to delude these demons. Make them mohagrasta. Delude them. So that they will become the reason of their own death. So somehow Devi deludes them. because Devi is Mahamaya. Devi deludes them. And what happens is that this Madu and Kaab, they somehow feel very happy with Vishnu. So happy that they say, oh, he's such a good warrior. He has been fighting with us for such a long time. So they tell Vishnu, go ahead, ask us for a boon. We are very happy with you. And Vishnu immediately takes, good benefit from this situation. He immediately asks for a boon. He says, give me a boon that I should be able to kill you. That you must be killed by me. Give me that boon. So he takes an advantage immediately. Now, Madu and Kaab are in dilemma. They don't know what to do. So like many of the asuras, they think, we are very intelligent. So Madu and Kaab, they put a condition. They say, okay, you can kill us, but you should kill us in a place where there is no water. So apparently this is the time when there is a pralaya happening in the creation. Pralaya means everything is submerged in water. There is nothing but water around. So Madu Kaab say that you should kill us only in a dry place. If there is water, you cannot kill us. That is our condition. You can kill us, but the place should be dry. I'm sure you must be getting reminded of a similar condition that was put by Hiranyakashipu rather to the Lord Brahma. Hiranyakashipu put that condition to Lord Brahma when Lord Brahma gave him the boon. So in that boon also, Hiranyakashipu asked for many conditions, that it should not be day, it should not be night, it should not be inside the house, it should not be outside the house, I should not be getting killed by the man, neither by a animal, and so many other conditions. But the divine always is a level higher than that. And then just like Lord takes the form of Narsimha, here what Vishnu does is, when they put this condition that you can only kill us in a dry place, Vishnu says, okay, I agree. So what Vishnu does is, he takes out his one leg and his thighs come out of the water. And on those dry thighs, he takes Madhu and with his discus, with his chakra, he severs his head. And then takes out another thigh from the water and then Kaab, and then cuts his head. And both of these demons die. So this is the story. And then after this, Brahma does the stuti to Devi again. This is the story of the first Charitam. Now quickly, if you look at the esoteric significance of this, the deeper significance, what is this story telling us? Is it just a story like a Harry Potter story? Is it just some fancy story? No. It has very, very deep spiritual insights. So first of all, you see the demons are created from Vishnu's ears. And they are also created because of Devi. So Devi is ignorance, because these demons, they represent ignorance and delusion. They also represent likes and dislikes. Madhu means sweet. Kaab means bitter. So sweet, we like our likes. We are so attached to our likes. Madhu, sweet, likes. Kaab, dislikes. Our likes and dislikes. So it is the Devi who creates the demons, but it is with the grace of Devi only that both demons are killed. That is number one. Number two, Vishnu is in Yoga Nidra because of Devis. And Vishnu wakes up also because of Devi. So the sleeping state of Vishnu represents ignorance again. When we are deep in ignorance, the darkness of ignorance, that is also because of Devi. And because of Devi, we become awakened. We realize our true self. That is what is represented by a woken up Vishnu. Right? And now these two demons are born out of the body of Vishnu itself, which basically shows that this body is the residing place of Maya. This body is the residing place of Maya. If Vishnu, one of the trinities, if demons can come from his body, then what to talk about you and me? So we have to be always on the alert. Always on the alert. As long as this body is there, we have to be very, very careful about our likes and dislikes. Amma also says many times, Ishta Nishtangal Vidanam. For a spiritual seekers, giving up likes and dislikes, both, rising beyond both of them. That is the first step. That is why first Charitam of Durga Saptashati is about Madu Kaitam. The killing of Madu Kaitam. So, we have to be very careful with this body. Very, very careful. Because this is one instrument we have got. We can go deeper into the rut of Maya with this body. We can also come out of Maya, transcend Maya with this very body. So same body can be used in both ways. It depends on where we want to take our life. What is our goal? And then once the Madu Kaita are born, see, they are running after Brahma. They want to kill Brahma first, right? And what does this signify? See, in the Trinity, Brahma represents Sattva Guna. In the Trinity, Vishnu represents Rajoguna, activity. Brahma represents knowledge, Sattvic Gunas, love, compassion. And Shiva represents Tamoguna, dissolution, Samhara. So, Madu Kaitab running after Brahma represents that our own negative tendencies like likes and dislikes, if we don't take care of them, they will ultimately lead to the destruction of sattvic gunas in us. Because when our mind is completely overpowered by likes and dislikes, gone, then our sattva will go away. Love, compassion, forgiveness, all these qualities will go away slowly. And this is what is represented in the Ramayana also. Once Sita looks at the deer, the golden deer, she falls into a delusion. She likes it so much that she forces Rama to run after the deer without realizing that it was all a Mayavi play of Ravana. And when Rama goes to catch the deer, we all know what happens. Ravana comes and abducts Sita. So that is how we also get abducted. Our higher Sattvic Guna gets abducted, killed by these demons. So that is what is represented by Madu and Kaitab running after Brahma. And then Brahma doing stuti. First he approaches Vishnu and Vishnu is not able to do anything. And then he does stuti. What it represents is that Vishnu is the Rajoguna, remember that. Our Rajoguna sometimes fails. And that is where surrendering to the higher power. Stuti of Devi means surrendering to the higher power. Invoking that higher power with the childlike attitude. Stuti does not just mean glorifying. That is a wrong English translation. See, Devi is not somebody whom you can butter up. It's not like a minister or some officer that you go and butter them up so that you can get your work done. Devi is not like that. Stuti of Devi means surrendering to the Devi. Stuti of Devi means acknowledging Devi in your life. Stuti of Devi means not blaming anybody or any situation. Because when we blame anybody or any situation, we are blaming Devi in one way. When we take onus of our life, when we don't play the blame game, when we come to the realization that everything that is happening with me in my life is my own doing. And I am responsible for my own suffering, nobody else. So that is the real significance, the esoteric significance of Devi Stuti. And once that surrender comes to the higher power, then Vishnu wakes up. Then the real knowledge dawns. Vishnu wakes up. But again, we see Vishnu and the demons fighting for 5,000 years, right? What does that mean? Again, 5,000 is not important here. These are sometimes, these numbers don't signify much, but just the fact that it denotes long time. So don't take it too literally. Don't take 5,000 to mean 5,000. What is important is to understand the significance, the inner essence. 5,000 years means long time. So what it denotes is that just by your Rajoguna, the Vishnu alone, the demons, the negative tendencies cannot be killed. Cannot be killed. But it is also important because only after this you attract the grace. First you do an effort and then you attract the grace. Amma also says many times, without effort there is no grace. You have to use your Rajoguna to fight against your Tamoguna, the negative tendencies. You have to use Rajoguna to fight with the Tamoguna. And it's going to be a long battle. It's going to be a long fight. But the more you fight, the more grace you attract. You must fight. And when you attract that grace of the Devi, then automatically the negative tendencies, they vanish. Now, what does it mean when Devi deludes Madu and Kaab? It's a very, very deep thing, very, very deep spiritual insight here. What does it mean when Devi deludes the Madu Kaab? Because Madu Kaab give the varam, they bestow a name on Vishnu. They tell Vishnu to ask for a moon. What makes them do that? And what does it signify? What it means is that when our likes and dislikes shift from objects, people, things to Atma and Anatma, that is the grace, by the grace of Devi, and that is what it means by the boon given by Madu and Kaab. Because Madu and Kaab are representing likes and dislikes. So, in the demonic form, Madu and Kaab represent likes and dislikes to the worldly things and objects. I like this, I don't like this, I like this, I don't like this. And then running after your likes and dislikes. Whereas, when Madu and Kaab ask Vishnu to ask for a boon, what it means is that with Devi's grace, we start to focus our likes and dislikes on what takes us close to Atma, what takes us close to ourselves, and what takes us far from ourselves. So a sadhak also has likes and dislikes. But the likes and dislikes of sadhak are more in terms of what will take him to the final goal and what will not take him to the final goal. A sadhak likes to do spiritual practices. Sadhak likes to do shravana of satsanga. Sadhak likes to do mananam. Sadhak likes to do nididhyasanam. Sadhak likes to meditate. Sadhak likes to do japa. These are also likes, but they are in the direction of the higher goal. Sadhak dislikes anything and everything which takes him away from the goal. Sadhak dislikes to waste time. Sadhak dislikes to blame others. Sadhak dislikes to get into any arguments or fights unnecessarily. Sadhak dislikes to do anything that is adharmic. So that is what we need to understand. Right? And one last thing, which is very important to understand. See, as I told you before, Vishnu represents Rajoguna. So Vishnu is also fighting with these demons. So what it means is that a sadhak does not mean, see, many times we associate certain things with negative. For example, we say anger is negative, right? And we think, let us say, meditation is positive. That's a general understanding, but that's not true. What is at the core? What is at the center of these two things? Expression of anger is just external, but because of what? What is at the core of it? Right? Devi is also getting angry throughout Devi Mahatmyam, throughout Durga Saptashati. You will see Durga becoming very, very angry. Kali becoming very angry. So does that mean she has negative qualities? No. Devi's anger is for establishing dharma. Devi's anger is for the good. Devi's anger is to protect the devotee or the sadhak. But the anger of the Mahishasura or the demons is for adharma. They want to extract maximum from others, from the Prakriti. They want to destroy everybody. Utilitarian approach. In the name of progress, we also see what we are doing in our society. We are exploiting the nature all around. This is what the Asura is doing. So Asuras are nobody else than us. We are the Asuras in this society. We are exploiting this nature. We are exploiting others. So here we have to understand that it is not anger which is negative. What is at the core of anger? If your anger is for dharma, like Devi is fighting for dharma, Vishnu is fighting for dharma, that anger is good. But the demonic anger or the negative, that is not good. So Devi, her anger is positive. Her anger is a good thing. So similarly for the sadhak. So what it means is that sadhak should not think that I should never get angry. It doesn't mean that. For dharma, if what it takes is to get angry, we must become angry. But again, sadhak is not bound by that anger because it's done for dharma. It is not done by a selfish desire. That is what mothers do in our daily life, right? When mothers scold us, they are not doing it out of hatred. They are doing it for our good. When Guru scolds us, shows an expression of anger, it's for our own good. It's not done with the intention to hurt anyone. That is the meaning. Similarly, meditation, for example, we think it's positive. But not always. We have seen so many examples of all these asuras meditating and getting boons from Brahma. We know Ravana used to meditate. He got many boons from Lord Shiva. And here also, we see Hiranyakashipu getting a boon from Brahma. And so many asuras, they did a lot of penance. So just doing penance does not make it good. What is important is what is our ultimate objective, what is at the center. So finally, with Devi's grace, once our likes and dislikes become aligned to the higher divine, we like what takes us closer to Devi, what takes us closer to ourselves, and we dislike everything that takes us away from Devi or the self. Then, with the grace of Devi, our negative tendencies vanish. So that is the whole esoteric significance of this. There are many other angles. I won't have time now to go into that. We will probably take it some other time. But tomorrow, I am planning to basically go into the second Charitam briefly, because that is the most important, and look at the esoteric significance of that. And then we will also go into the significance of mantras, and especially chanting the Devi's names and what it signifies and why it is important and how it helps us in our spiritual practice. Thank you once again, and may Amma's grace be with all of you. May Devi bless you all, and may we all be benefited by this whatever we are discussing, may our efforts be fruitful by the grace of Divine Mother.